Tonight, the state of emergency, the deadly tornado outbreak already, and authorities warning tonight more on the way. Several states, at least 30 reported tornadoes already. Tonight, the rescues, the man clinging to a tree from Texas to Illinois, and this system then moving east. Rob Marciano standing by with the timing and the track. The deadly school shooting, authorities just moments ago, and what they revealed about the former student, what he allegedly said when he was arrested, and the young hero who was killed when he jumped on top of him. Under fire on Capitol Hill, Attorney General William Barr is asked why he did not reveal to the American people weeks ago that Robert Mueller was not pleased with what Barr had done. Tonight, the letter Robert Mueller sent to Barr, now revealed. And what Robert Mueller wanted Barr to do, he chose not to. And breaking tonight, William Barr now refusing to testify tomorrow. We're live on the Hill. Our team inside Venezuela tonight, and the major new headline, the U.S. acknowledging have not taken military action off the table. So what next? Ian Panel standing by. Also developing now, trapped on a cruise ship. The measles emergency we're learning about tonight, about 300 passengers and crew reportedly told they cannot get off the ship. The evacuations tonight, the major plant up in flames, reports of propane tanks exploding. Jeopardy host Alex Trebek and our Robin Roberts, his first interview on his health, what he reveals about sudden waves of sadness, and in true form, what he says about that current champ, Jeopardy James.
This is ABC World News Tonight with David Muir.
Good evening, and it's great to have you with us here on a Wednesday night. And we have breaking news from Capitol Hill. The Attorney General refusing to testify tomorrow after fireworks today. But we do begin at the top tonight with a terrifying 24 hours already. And now the state of emergency after a devastating tornado outbreak. Several states under warnings or watches again tonight. More than 30 reported tornadoes already. And this storm system has been deadly. This picture from Dean, Texas tonight. Piles of debris from destroyed homes and buildings in Wheaton, Missouri. Heavy rain and flooding taking the life of a man in Tulsa. His vehicle was swept away. The system is moving east. Authorities warn tonight more than 20 million are at risk. We have the track for you, and ABC's Marcus Moore leads us off from inside the storm zone.
A tornado outbreak in the heartland turning deadly, with millions in the crosshairs tonight.
The severe weather is out to our northwest, just a mess of thunderstorms.
After 24 hours of devastating weather, more than 30 reported twisters touching down across 5 states. North of Dallas, an EF1 with winds up to 90 miles per hour in Denton, Texas, uprooting trees and leaving streets impassable. Spectacular drone footage showing one tornado tearing across farmland southeast of Oklahoma City. In Wheaton, Missouri, heavy damage to homes. Debbie Brown tried to get to a neighbor's cellar, but it was locked.
So I just thought, oh my God, it's my time. I got to get the bathtub. So I grabbed a couple blankets, got in there.
South of Joplin, Missouri, a swift water team racing to rescue a man found clinging to a tree, putting a life jacket on him, using ropes to get him to safety. In Tulsa, first responders using flashlights to frantically search for a vehicle that was swept away. We learned today the man inside died. That rain stretching all the way up to Michigan. High water rescues today from homes outside Detroit.
So let's get to Marcus Moore. He joins us live from Denton, Texas tonight, just outside Dallas. I know you've seen a lot of damage there already, and they are warning tonight, many in the region there, that more severe weather is on the way.
David, they are, and you can see what this storm did in this neighborhood here, knocking down this massive tree. It fell right onto a Ford Mustang there, and the storm is very much active tonight as it moves through the region. We're talking about the concern of hail, high winds, and the possibility of tornadoes. And David, we're also worried about flash flooding.
All right, Marcus Moore leading us off tonight. Marcus, thank you. Let's get right to senior meteorologist Rob Marciano tracking it all. Rob, a potentially dangerous night ahead again.
Yeah, day 2, David. This system has really dug its heels into Texas and Oklahoma. Look at it on the radar scope. We've got a number of severe storms, including some tornado warnings now just east of 35 there, east of Ardmore, and one just north of Stanford. And where it's not doing that, we've got big-time hail and big wind, severe thunderstorm watch in this area past the Red River until 8 o'clock tonight. And then tomorrow we're looking for the system to kind of split into Evansville, the Ohio River Valley, severe weather pocket there, and then central Texas yet again, day 3, and then we'll see flash flooding as well. Rivers running high, and these storms have a lot of water with them, upwards of 4 to 6 inches of rainfall potentially with these storms during the day tomorrow and right through Friday. David?
Rob Marciano with us tonight as well. Rob, thank you. The other story developing as we came on the air tonight, word that Attorney General William Barr has just now revealed that he will not testify tomorrow after fireworks in his testimony today. And the bombshell revelation that Robert Mueller, the special counsel, wrote him a letter to say he was unhappy with how Barr handled the Mueller report when it was turned in. Barr was asked today about that, why he did not reveal to the American people weeks ago that Mueller had sent him that letter, that they had talked, and that Mueller was not happy. Barr answering those questions, and also today calling Mueller's letter a bit snitty. ABC's Mary Bruce on the Hill.
On Capitol Hill today, Attorney General Bill Barr forced to defend his actions against unprecedented criticism from Robert Mueller himself.
Yes.
Just hours before, news broke that Mueller had complained to the Attorney General about Barr's decision to release his own summary of the report's conclusions. Mueller voiced his frustration in a letter to Barr on March 27th, writing that the Attorney General's summary did not fully capture the context, nature, and substance of this office's work and conclusions. Adding there is now public confusion about critical aspects of the results of our investigation.
This letter was an extraordinary act. A career prosecutor rebuking the Attorney General of the United States, memorializing in writing, right?
The letter's a bit snitty, and I think it was probably written by one of his staff people.
Mueller wrote his own summaries of the report and twice asked Barr to release them, but Barr refused. The two men later talked on the phone, and Barr insists Mueller did not accuse him of misrepresenting the report.
There were notes taken of the call.
May we have those notes?
No.
Why not?
Why should you have them?
Barr knew of Mueller's concerns when he testified last month, but he didn't reveal them when asked about concerns from the special counsel's team.
Members of the special counsel's team are frustrated at some level with the limited information included in your March 24th letter, that it does not adequately or accurately necessarily portray the report's findings. Do you know what they're referencing with that?
No, I don't.
Today, Democrats demanded to know why he didn't tell them about Mueller's letter.
Why did you say you were not aware of concerns?
Well, I answered a question, and the question was relating to unidentified members. I talked directly to Bob Mueller, not members of his team.
Ms. Barr, I feel your answer was purposely misleading.
Barr called concerns over his summary mind-bendingly bizarre and took this jab at Mueller.
His work concluded when he sent his report to the Attorney General. At that point, it was my baby.
Mueller did not make a determination on obstruction of justice, but Barr did, declaring in his summary that the president did not obstruct.
So you accepted the report as the evidence?
Yes.
You did not question or look at the underlying evidence that supports the conclusions in the report?
No.
As the Attorney General of the United States, you run the United States Department of Justice. If in any U.S. attorney's office around the country, the head of that office, when being asked to make a critical decision about, in this case, the person who holds the highest office in the land, and whether or not that person committed a crime, would you accept them recommending a charging decision to you if they had not reviewed the evidence?
Well, that's a question for Bob Mueller.
The president says he's exonerated based on Barr's conclusions, but Barr insists he did not clear the president.
No, I didn't exonerate.
Republicans pushed Barr on why Mueller didn't make his own determination.
Tell me again briefly why Mr. Mueller told you he reached no conclusion.
I really couldn't recapitulate it. It was unclear to us.
Democrats now want to hear from Mueller himself, but the Republican chairman of the committee wants today's hearing to be the last word. Why not call for Mueller to testify?
Because I'm not going to do any more. Enough already. It's over.
Though we did hear Lindsey Graham today, Mary, say that he would reach out to Bob Mueller, and if he disagreed with what William Barr said today in front of that Senate hearing, that he would invite Mueller's response. But in the meantime, Mary, as we reported, the Attorney General was scheduled to testify tomorrow in the House. Just moments ago, word is he's now refusing to appear because of that format. There's been an argument over that for some time. And aside from Barr returning, the other person many want to see up on the Hill answering questions is Robert Mueller. How likely is that?
Well, David, you heard Lindsey Graham. He's made clear he's not going to call him in the Senate, while over in the House, Chairman Gerald Nadler of the Judiciary Committee just announced that they're looking at May 15th for a potential hearing, but asked if Mueller has agreed. Nadler said not yet. But David Barr has made clear he's not going to stand in the way. David.
All right, Mary Bruce on the Hill all day for us. Mary, thank you. Next to the news conference late today after that deadly shooting at the University of North Carolina at Charlotte, a gunman opening fire on the last day of classes. Police running into that building tonight, what the shooter allegedly told them when they arrested him. And the young student hero who tackled the gunman, saving lives while losing his own. ABC's Steve Osunsami is in Charlotte tonight.
Students who survived the gunfire in an anthropology class on the Charlotte campus tell us that the accused gunman sat down for 10 minutes before he got up and started shooting.
All of a sudden, bang, 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 bang. And then everyone just started running.
Jack Siegel says he's only alive today because he was sitting on the opposite end of the classroom. Yesterday could have been your last day.
It definitely could have. If he had went into the other entrance, I would be dead. I wouldn't be here talking to you right now. I would be dead.
2 students did die.
We have multiple victims in here. We're going to need multiple ambulances.
Police say they were 19-year-old Ellis Parlier and 21-year-old Riley Howell, who died a hero. The young athlete didn't just fight with the accused gunman, he knocked the guy off his feet.
Unfortunately, he gave his life in the process. But his sacrifice saved lives.
He was a strong young man who loved Star Wars, snowboarding, and going to the lake. His family shared these photos and tell us they're heartbroken. So is the school's chancellor.
I can't imagine being in the position of these parents. I just can't imagine.
Here's what 22-year-old Tristan Terrell had to say as he was being arrested.
Can you tell us what happened?
He's charged with murder and 4 counts of attempted murder for wounding 19-year-old Drew Pescaro and 3 other students.
All right, so let's get right to Steve Osunsami live from where the shootings happened. And Steve, I know the suspect is in court tomorrow.
Yes, David, he appears in court tomorrow afternoon. Behind me is Kennedy Hall, where those 2 young people were killed. Those stairs you see and where I'm standing right now is where students went running for their lives. We saw a line of students today meeting with grief and trauma counselors. David.
Steve, thank you. Next tonight, our team inside Venezuela, and the major headline now, the U.S. acknowledging today they have not taken military action off the table. It comes after opposition leader Juan Guaido called for a military uprising against President Maduro. In fact, he said in the last 24 hours that this is the, quote, final phase. Tonight, new clashes in the streets, protesters and security forces facing off. But tonight, it does not appear the military is giving up on Maduro. So what next? ABC senior foreign correspondent Ian Pannell is in Venezuela tonight.
Tonight, fresh clashes in the Venezuelan capital. Street to street. Between protesters heeding opposition calls demanding freedom and change, and the strongmen loyal to President Nicolas Maduro roaming on bikes, firing tear gas into the crowd. Hundreds racing to safety.
Tens of thousands of people have come out onto the streets today. It's been largely peaceful, but there's also been violence, and earlier we heard the sound of gunshots.
Opposition leader Juan Guaido, strongly backed by the Trump administration, continued his daring call to action. Just yesterday, Guaido calling for the military to revolt en masse and join his side, but it appears few have. This military vehicle Tuesday at one point driving over some protesters in the streets. Maduro seems still firmly in power today, calling for his supporters to take to the streets too, dismissing pressure to step down. While on Capitol Hill, Acting Secretary of Defense Patrick Shanahan cancelled a trip to deal with the crisis, giving this stark assessment.
When people say there are, all options are on the table, they literally are.
And Ian Pannell reporting in tonight from inside Venezuela. The U.S. revealing military action has not been ruled out. But Ian, as you reported there, with the opposition appearing, at least as of now, unable to secure the loyalty of the military there, this crisis could be entering what could be a potentially very dangerous phase ahead.
Yeah, I think that's right. Despite the implicit and explicit threats from U.S. officials, the promises from the opposition, the violence and the protests, I think it's fair to say that President Maduro looks almost as strong today as he did a week ago. And the question tonight is, what do American officials and the man that they support here do next? David?
That is the question, Ian, panel, and our team in Venezuela. Thank you. And there is news from the U.S. border with Mexico tonight. A 16-year-old unaccompanied migrant boy from Guatemala has now died in government custody in Texas. Officials say he appeared to be healthy when he arrived on April 20th, but the next morning he came down with a fever, chills, and a headache. They say he was taken to the hospital. He spent several days in intensive care, and he died yesterday. He is reportedly the third migrant child to die in government custody since the fall. And tonight, WikiLeaks founder Julian Assange has been sentenced to 50 weeks in prison for jumping bail in the UK. He was taken into custody, you'll remember, after being kicked out of the Ecuadorian embassy in London, where he spent 7 years avoiding an arrest warrant from Sweden. As you know, the U.S. has also indicted Assange on a charge of conspiring to hack into Pentagon computers. He faces an extradition hearing on that tomorrow. There is still much more ahead on World News Tonight. Next tonight, here's the chilling 911 call from a homeowner hiding in a bedroom closet, reporting a break-in. That homeowner suddenly listens as the intruder comes into the bedroom. Tonight, hear the dispatcher and the homeowner who then fires. Here's ABC's Adrian Bankert.
Inside the Seattle home, a desperate call for help after a break-in.
911, what are you reporting?
Yeah, my house is getting robbed right now.
In this newly released 911 call, the homeowner says he is hiding in his bedroom.
Are you armed?
Yeah, I have a gun.
The dispatcher on the job just a few weeks, staying on the phone while sending police.
That crashing out here behind you, is that them?
Yeah, they broke the window out.
The intruder closing in.
Do they know you're there? Okay, stay quiet. Okay, keep yourself safe.
And moments later.
I heard shots. What happened?
I had to shoot him. He came after me. I'm hiding in my closet bedroom.
Did the person that you shot, did he leave?
No, he's down. He's here on the ground. He's hurt.
It was definitely nerve-wracking, but I think at the end of the day, training kind of kicked in.
When police arrived, that 29-year-old unarmed burglar is dead.
David, police say because that homeowner acted in self-defense, he won't face any charges. David?
Adrian, to the index of other news and to that cruise ship quarantined in a Caribbean port, a measles scare reportedly forcing about 300 passengers and crew to remain on board at St. Lucia. At least one confirmed case of someone with measles on the ship. Medical officials say it is likely others have now been exposed. That massive fire causing evacuations in Knoxville, Tennessee tonight. The fire breaking out at a waste and recycling plant. Reports of propane tanks exploding. People in nearby homes urged to leave. There is late word tonight that fire has been contained. There were tense moments today in Somerville, Massachusetts. Surveillance showing a robbery suspect in a bank there, gun in hand. Police say he shot at officers during his escape. A bystander right there trying to stop him as he ran away. An intense police search is now underway for the suspect. And news tonight about actor Ricky Schroeder. The actor best known for Silver Spoons and NYPD Blue has been arrested for alleged domestic abuse. He's accused of hitting his girlfriend. Police were called to his home in LA County early this morning. It's his second domestic violence arrest in 30 days. When we could hear Alex Trebek with Robin, how he's feeling, how he's fighting, and that current champ. For the first time since his very personal reveal, Alex Trebek with our Robin Roberts.
How are you doing? My oncologist tells me I'm doing well, even though I don't always feel it. I've had kidney stones, I've had ruptured discs, so I'm used to dealing with pain. But what I'm not used to dealing with is these surges that come on suddenly of deep, deep sadness. And it brings tears to my eyes. I've discovered in this whole episode, ladies and gentlemen, that I'm a bit of a wuss. But I'm fighting through it. The cancer indicators, those are coming down.
Good. Trebek, who is 78, has been the host of Jeopardy for 35 seasons, vowing to return for season 36.
What have you learned about yourself through this journey? I think I've learned that I'm an extremely lucky individual because in spite of the fact that this diagnosis is not a good one, I have managed to receive so much love from so many people, and quite often you don't get that during your lifetime. After you're passed, after you're dead, people say, oh, he was such a good guy.
But he says he is feeling the love now. And along with his candor, his humor, too. Reveling in this newest winning streak, Jeopardy James on a roll.
He came very close the other day, though. I mean, that was a little... That was an interesting... He won by $18. He won.
I know, but I know that.
It doesn't matter. In Vegas, it doesn't matter if you win by $1 or $18. If you win, you won.
You love this.
Oh, it's exciting. I mean, our ratings are great thanks to him, but everywhere I go, people are talking about him. David Muir is talking about him on the evening newscast, for crying out loud.
But tonight, we're talking about you, Alex, and wishing you well in this fight. We are. You know, he's giving so many others in the same fight hope. So thank you, Alex. We are rooting for you. I'm David Muir. Good night.